In this lecture, we're going to cover Chai Assertion Library. Chai is basically a behavior-driven development or test-driven development assertion library for Node and the browser. This means that you can write more fluent code. I mean, you can still use Mocha and the syntax that is provided by Mocha, but you will see that writing something like this, that foo should be a string, foo should be equal to this, foo should have length 3, tea should have property flavors. It's more fluent, it's more natural, like when you're reading it. And that's what it does. Like it creates or it allows the code or your test to be more readable, more fluent. First of all, npm install chai --save if you want to save it in your project. So do that. After that, I've removed everything from the test.js. We're going to write a test, and this time we're going to use chai. All right. So let's go ahead and initialize the chai framework or the package. So here we go. We have chai. All right. And now we can describe our test. So our test will be for a calculator. All right. And now we can define our test cases. So we can say it should return or should be able to add two numbers successfully, because we are implementing a test for a calculator. There we go. At this point, we don't really have any calculator. We don't have a class called calculator. All right. And if you're following the test-driven development approach, you're going to write the test. It's going to fail. It's going to say, well, there is no class called calculator. So you can do something like this. Constant calc equals to new calculator. And if you run this, so let me go over here and run it. So if I say node test, it just threw an error. No, I did like there's not even an assertion over here right now. So the first thing we need to do is we can create a class called calculator. So inside the models, I'm going to add a new file and I'm going to call it calculator. All right. And in the calculator, I'm going to create a function which will be as a constructor. That's a calculator. It's not going to take anything. And then I can add different functions to this function, to this object. Prototype dot add equals to function a comma b. And let's go ahead and print out the result also. So a plus b. And also return the result a plus b. So whenever I make an instance of a calculator, it's going to come with the add function, which takes in two parameters, a and b, and it returns a plus b, which is the actual calculation. Now we need to use our calculator class, or the calculator. Did we export it? I don't think we exported it. So let's go ahead and also export it, or else we will not be able to import it. So module.exports equals to calculator. Let's go to the test, and what we're going to do is constant calculator equals to required. So we're kind of like importing right now, and we can simply say where it is. It's inside the models and inside the class called calculator.js. So now we can create an instance of the calculator. All right. All right, so let's initialize our chai by saying chai.should. And we can say result.should be equal to the result And we can actually, over here, we can say that the result should be equal to something. So constant result equals to, like if you are adding two numbers together. So let's say calc dot add 2 and 3. So result should be equal to kind of like 5 because you're adding two numbers. All right. So this is going to call the calculator.add function, put the result over here, which is 5. And now we are kind of like asserting, we are saying that it should be equal to 5. So let's go ahead and run our test. All right, module.js, cannot find the module test. Module test. Let's see in package.json. We have everything set up correctly. All right, so there's no node test. There is npm test. So you will run npm test to run the test. And here we go. So our test is actually passing now. If you do want to fail the test, you can simply go to test and say that 2 plus 3 will be 6. And run npm test again. And it fails. Whenever you run npm test, npm anything basically, it goes and it looks into over here, basically the script. So if I say test, npm test is going to look at this and it's going to run Mocha. If I say npm dev, then it's going to look at dev and it's going to say whatever over here. All right. That's not the shortcut of running things or running the scripts. npm test, npm dev, npm build, npm whatever, release, whatever scripts you want to make. So there you go. So you have your first test, which is using Mocha and Chai for assertion, and you build a very simple calculator.